Hello there, I'm the code orchestrator. Today, we are going to do something that honestly still feels a bit like magic. We're going to build a complete e-commerce application, not by writing endless lines of code, but by using a single, incredibly powerful prompt. We're going to go from a blank page to a full-on store. So, let's get right into it.
Just imagine this for a second. You paste one single, well-crafted prompt into your AI tool, and just a half hour later, you have a production-ready application. I'm talking product pages, a shopping cart, a full checkout flow, order tracking, the whole shebang. That is the kind of power we're about to unlock today.
All right, here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about why prompting is truly the new essential skill for developers. Then, I'm going to share my secret sauce, the 5-part Power Prompt Framework. We'll then use that framework to build our e-commerce app, one screen at a time, connect it all into a working system, and finally, lock in your new workflow. Let's dive in. First things first, the new coding skill. We really need to get our heads around this. Prompting isn't just typing questions into a chat box. No, it is an act of engineering. It's about precision. And this right here, this is the most common mistake I see. You give the AI a vague prompt like, build me an e-commerce app in React, and you're going to get a vague, pretty useless result. But a structured, detailed, engineered prompt, well, that gives you an engineered, production-quality result. It's the old saying, right? Garbage in, garbage out. That is the law of the universe here.
So, how do we engineer a prompt? That brings us to the core of this whole thing. Section 2, the 5-part Power Prompt. This is the exact template, the engineering blueprint I use for every single powerful result I get from an AI.
And here it is. The framework is made of 5 simple parts: role, task, steps, rules, and output. If you get these 5 things right, I promise you, you will get quality results every single time. This is the foundation of our entire process.
Okay, enough theory. Let's put this into practice. Section 3, prompting an e-commerce app. We're going to take the master prompt for our application and break it down piece by piece using our new framework.
Everything, and I mean everything, starts with the role. Now just look at the difference on this slide. A weak role like, you are a web developer, gets you generic, textbook code. But a power role, you are a senior React developer specializing in web commerce with conversion-optimized interfaces. Now you're telling the AI to tap into a very specific, very deep well of knowledge. This one change alone will completely transform your output. Now the other 4 parts are just as critical. The task, that's your project scope, boiled down to a single clear sentence. The steps, this is where you break the entire build into logical, manageable chunks. Super important. The rules are your non-negotiables, your quality standards for performance or user experience. And finally, the output defines that final connected user journey, making sure it all works together seamlessly. Okay, now for the really fun part. Section 4, building screen by screen. We're going to apply our framework to generate each individual piece of our user interface. We'll start with product discovery. Look, its only job is to help users find what they're looking for and find it fast. So that means a big, obvious search bar, easy-to-use filters, but also smart things like lazy loading for images to keep the page snappy, and a useful empty state so the user's never stuck at a dead end. So for this screen, our key instruction, our prompting tip, is to tell the AI to implement a filter state that updates the product list without a page reload. That specific command is what gives us that modern, fluid user experience and avoids those clunky full-page refreshes that we all hate.
All right, next up, the product detail page. You have to think of this page as your conversion machine. It has to work hard. So it needs a swipeable image gallery, a price that updates in real time as you select options, variant selectors, a huge, impossible-to-miss add to cart button, and of course, a trust section with reviews and guarantees.
And our pro tip here is all about driving that conversion. We tell the AI, the Add to Cart button must be sticky on scroll. Why? So it's always visible, always ready to be clicked. We also ask for an optimistic UI update. This is a neat trick. It means the UI changes instantly when you click, making the app feel incredibly fast, even before the server has confirmed the action.
Moving on to the cart and checkout. You know, this is where most online stores lose their customers. So our focus here is on one thing, minimizing friction. That means inline editing for items, a strict maximum of 3 interactions to buy something, and using local storage so the cart is saved even if someone accidentally closes the browser. No lost sales. And here is a perfect example of turning a business goal into a technical command for the AI. We state it as a rule. Checkout must complete in 3 interactions maximum. This isn't a suggestion, it's a hard constraint in our prompt that forces the AI to design and build an incredibly efficient, high-conversion flow.
Now for the payment integration. This part is all about one word: trust. The user has to feel absolutely secure, and the process has to be completely frictionless. We're going to prioritize saved cards and digital wallets like Google Pay. With manual card entry there only as a fallback.
The logic in the prompt here is what makes it so powerful. We specify the exact priority for payment methods, and then we add a simple but brilliant rule. Disable the confirm button until all fields are valid. This tiny detail prevents so many user errors and so much frustration. It's professional polish built right into the prompt.
And finally, let's talk about order tracking. This page is so often an afterthought, but it's one of the most visited pages after a purchase is made. It needs to be good. We want a clear visual timeline, a clear estimated delivery date, a direct link to the carrier, and an obvious way to contact support.
So our prompting tip here is to be very specific about the visuals. Show a vertical progress timeline with 4 stages. You see, that instruction ensures the AI creates something that's intuitive and easy to understand at a glance, not just a boring wall of text.
Okay, deep breath. We have all our individual screens. Now, in section 5, we move from screens to system. We're going to use one last final integration prompt to connect all these pieces into a complete working single-page application.
This integration prompt is basically the technical glue for our entire app. We're telling it exactly how to wire everything up. We'll use React Router for navigating between pages. We'll use the Context API for managing our global state, like the shopping cart. We use a top-level error boundary to catch any problems gracefully. And we lock in our technology stack: React 19, Tailwind for styling, Firebase for the backend, and of course, Paystack for our payments.
And that brings us to our final section, your prompting workflow. This is where it all comes together. It's about shifting your mindset from just writing prompts to actually shipping world-class products.
Let's end on this thought. The developers who learn to orchestrate AI well today are the ones who build the products everyone else uses tomorrow. This isn't just about typing. It's about engineering. It's about orchestration. This framework gives you the blueprint. The rest is up to you. Now go and build something amazing.